Hi, today I wanted to share with you a new perspective on the concept of humility. I talk a lot about the old world, the new world, the old reality and the new reality, and it seems to me as we step along the landscape of the new reality that we look at humility and maybe explore a different perspective. In the old days, humility and humble really had to do with, being lowly, humble birth, humble beginnings, had to do with being poor, no self-esteem. Really, it's a different way than we think of humility. It really fit into the foundations of the old reality, which was really all about fear and lack and mistrust. So as we move into the new reality, into the new world, it's important that we have a balanced, steady, inner focus that gives us a new perspective. And that new perspective is that humility takes on the qualities of respectfulness, modesty, and egolessness. I think we all have a feeling and kind of know what respectfulness means in the sense that we are to be respectful of each person's ideas and thoughts and feelings, and understanding that each person is a sovereign being. And modesty, I think there's an old world concept of modesty, and I think we get a feel for that. But I think that the real meaning of modesty is, of course, that we have a moderate view of our abilities. And then we shift to egolessness. And egolessness really has to do with a feeling of oneness with the universe. Egolessness is about being intimately involved in the fabric of all that is, the fabric of oneness, of being inextricably woven in the fabric of the universe. To support egolessness, it might be better to kind of think about and understand its opposite, which is egotism. Now, egotism really has to do with an inflated view of one's abilities. It's a matter of self-importance. And while each and every one of us is important in our own way, that's not the point. The point is that it's an inflated sense. It's not just because you are who you are. So we're all important in our own way. And sometimes it's easier to understand that egolessness and egotism are opposite sides of the same coin. You can always choose which one you're going to do. You're going to choose. So egotism is not humility, but it can be exercised. Egotism thwarts our desire to have understanding and compassion and love on this planet. And egolessness opens us to the consciousness of oneness. Egolessness is part of humility. So my point in this little conversation is to suggest that we contemplate a new understanding of humility. Understanding that humility is self-confidence. Humility is self-awareness, self-understanding. And that we exercise this as we move into the new reality, the new world of being egolessness along our way. So I ask you to contemplate and explore this new concept, this new perspective on humility. If it rings true for you, then I suggest that you integrate it into your life. Think about it. Think about egolessness and how it works for you. And to know that as we cross the paths of life, that it brings together our true selves, our true paths as we align with all that is. Humility, egolessness, respectfulness, modesty. Oh,